Another common topic that, or kind of method that we use in A&P to talk about types of information is comparing and contrasting. You have to compare different types of body systems. You have to compare so like this one where the example is acids and bases. You have to compare nervous system versus endocrine system, different types of cells you have to compare. And so being able to learn how to compare and contrast two ideas is really important. And so an example we're going to use here is acids and bases. This is one of the first things that you talk about in A&P 1. And so what I did basically was, and you can do this on the whiteboard, you can do it on the table, on the floor. I've seen people do it on the mirrors or their windows, but it's just a really hands-on way, and it's very visual because later on when you're looking at your test and you're trying to answer questions about it, sometimes you can visualize what you've put up, so that helps you kind of come to the answer. So I put bases and acids on two different spots, and then I wrote each of them had a couple of points about them that you had to know. So I wrote them each on a sticky note, and I used all the same color on the answers. So and we're going to separate them out between the two, which goes where. When you're very first starting out, especially if it's a harder topic and you're having a hard time differentiating, you can kind of cheat a little bit, and you could do like the answer, all the bases could be in one color and all the acids could be in a different color, and that would help you sort it out. But you would probably want to later on go back and do it all in one color. That way you can like really test yourself. So pretty much all you would do is you would say, okay, bases, they're all going to have a lot of dark side on. You could either look at bases and try to pick out everything that goes with them, or you could come over here and you could just pick one and say, all right, that's going to go here. And then you could go, all right, this one's going to go here, has a lot of hydrogen ions. Okay, that's going to go here. This one's going to go here. So really, you can, when you do something like this, there's different ways that you can do it, and the more ways that you can set it up, the easier it means that you know the information better. So, like I said, if you could come over and say, okay, I'm going to pick out all the bases and do it, or then say, okay, I'm going to pick out all the acids and put it where it goes, or you could just start with a random one and try to put it in the correct spot. And if you can do it both ways, then that means you really know your information. So I think it helps make it really visual, and it means you may get an essay question that says compare and contrast an acid versus a base, and you would be able to list all of the points. And all of the information that you would use to do something like that, you're going to get from your PowerPoints. Go back and check it while you're doing it, make sure you're doing it correctly. And like I said, you just keep mixing up. And my biggest suggestion for when you're doing something hands-on like this, don't just do it until you get it correct. Do it until you stop getting it wrong. So in other words, make sure you can do it over and over and over again correctly, because that means it's really stuck in your brain.